Hello and welcome to our webinar on the Wit and Wisdom Compendium. My name is Cody Fusco and I am an Associate Education Consultant with the Center for Literacy Research and Reading Success. This webinar is part of a series in which the center partners with the Connecticut District to showcase their experience in selecting, adopting, and implementing a Connecticut-approved core comprehensive model, program, or compendium. Our goal is for every Connecticut student to be reading at or above grade level, independently and proficiently by the end of third grade. In order to make this happen, one of the key features of the Connecticut K-3 literacy strategy is to implement a scientifically based, evidence-based core comprehensive program. This webinar series is designed to assist districts who are in the process of selecting a Connecticut-approved model, program, or compendium to implement. As Walter Payton once said, we are stronger together than we are alone. What is a comprehensive curriculum? A comprehensive curriculum is complete and includes, but is not limited to, instruction in all areas of reading, including oral language, phonemic awareness, phonics, fluency, vocabulary, rapid automatic name or letter name fluency, and reading comprehension. I would now like to introduce Shelton as they discuss the Wit and Wisdom Compendium.
Hello, and we are the Shelton team from the Shelton Public Schools. My name is Kristen Santilli. I am the Director of Curriculum, Instruction, and Data, Pre-K through 12.
I'm Cara Foley. I'm the reading consultant at Perry Hill School, which houses our 5-6 school for students.
I'm Kelly Young, and I'm the reading consultant at Elizabeth Shelton School, which is a K-4 school.
I'm Bree Murphy. I'm a grade 3 teacher at Elizabeth Shelton School.
I'm Amanda Kiramuzzi. I'm a special education teacher at our elementary school, and I am a co-teacher with Bree Murphy.
So some fun facts about Shelton. Shelton is a city in Lower Fairfield County. It is surrounded by Trumbull, Monroe, Stratford, Derby, and Ansonia. The town population is around 42,000. We are a DIRC D, and our per pupil expenditure is $17,911. Our grades that we range from are pre-K through 12. We have 8 schools, 5 K-4 elementaries, 1 5-6 upper elementary, a 7-8 middle school, and a 9 through 12 high school. We currently have 4,512 students enrolled. We have 16% of students identified with disabilities, and we have 7.5% of EL or multilingual learners, and 32.4% of students who are on free or reduced lunch. So, beginning in 2010, Shelton was a district that had what was writing homegrown readers workshop units in grades K through 8. That was put into place, as I said, in 2010 and continued until 2020. Over the years, we would look back and tweak the units, but around 2016, I would say, we really started to feel that teachers started to feel that they were searching so much for materials and resources that they didn't have to teach the curriculum. We started to see that kids were, being held back with, by that just right reading level, and they were not having much exposure to grade level text at that time. We were really seeing our scores, our students were achieving, but we weren't seeing that growth that we really wanted to see. And I would have to say, most importantly, we weren't focusing and listening to the science of reading. So along with that, in the TC writing units, our teachers also taught foundations in grades K through 3, which was our phonics program. During that time, during those 10 years, 6 of those, I was a former elementary K-4 principal in the district. And I would hear and I would see going in classrooms and being the instructional leader in the building that teachers were struggling with, again, like I said, getting the materials, moving kids along, showing the growth, including our special ed students and our EL students in classroom lessons. So I, in 2020, became the director of curriculum, and my first task was going to be to do a curriculum audit because my goal was to put curriculum in teachers' hands so that they could work smarter, not harder. And we did an audit and did surveys with teachers and got a lot of wonderful information. People were very honest about what they wanted and what they needed and what wasn't working. And I put together a district curriculum committee, which had representation from the entire district at all levels. And we looked at doing a pilot. And we chose 2 programs. We chose to do, since we were a homegrown workshop model and we already had the TC writing units, we said, let's try the Teachers College reading units. And then we looked at Wit and Wisdom, which was a drastically different take on reading instruction and writing instruction. And we, at that time, we also piloted GEODS, which are decodables that support the foundations units, and Haggerty Phonemic Awareness. And mind you, I need to share that this was all done during the 2021 school year, which is when we were in the height of COVID. So we were in and out. We had masks on. We were separated, by, so many feet apart. So this was quite the heavy lift for our teachers, but we did it, and we're better for it now. So this is shows you the survey that we did with teachers after the pilot was completed. So all teachers that taught either Teachers College or Wit and Wisdom, and you can see by the colors on the bar graph, had to answer questions on the survey. And you can see on the left-hand side, those are the questions. So it goes from, things like, did you see improvement in grades? Was there rigor? Did you have all the materials you needed? Did you have to search for other materials? What was the engagement of students? Did it align teaching, reading, and writing together? Again, did it allow for differentiation for students with IEPs? And would you recommend implementing it? And you can see from the bar graph that our Wit and Wisdom, it was unanimous that the teachers found it to be the most effective.
And we went into this thinking Teachers College was it. We had the writing units, so let's try the reading units. They'll be very similar, and they're absolutely opposite of one another. So it wound up being more work than we expected. But Wit and Wisdom was what our teachers wanted, and so we went forward with it, and it's been a success story ever since. So what is Wit and Wisdom? Wit and Wisdom is a curriculum that builds that knowledge of key topics, history, science, and literature. The whole purpose of Wit and Wisdom is a productive struggle where we want kids to work outside of their comfort zone, and they succeed because of it. There are 4 modules in each grade level every year, and topics are spiraled throughout. So one of the topics that we focus on is courage in crisis. So in 6th grade, we may be reading about Malala and Shackleton, but in 4th grade, they read Hatchet, and the kids are still talking about Hatchet and connecting those texts together. So what's great about Wit and Wisdom is everything spirals throughout every grade level, and we are using this curriculum again through K through 8. It's an integrated approach where we're doing reading, we're writing, we're speaking and listening, we're focusing on language. What our teachers love the best is there's grammar now and conventions, which we felt we lacked with the teachers' units of study. All students feel successful no matter what reading level they are, and we're building their background knowledge, so all students are on the same playing field when it comes to our curriculum. All the modules are structured in the same way, so there's no surprises. There are focusing questions that focus each arc, and at the end of each arc, there is a task or an essay that the students have to show their comprehension and what they learned. The background knowledge is built not just through the core text, but there may be paintings or photographs or music or videos. So the kids are seeing that everything connects together. Differentiation happens naturally throughout every lesson, and it benefits every student in the classroom. When you walk into one of our Wit and Wisdom classrooms, you will never know who's a special ed student with an IEP or a student with a 504 or a student who's new to our country. Everybody is successful. So in that spring, once we decided that Wit and Wisdom was where we were going, we met with teachers from Baltimore. Wit and Wisdom was born in Baltimore, essentially. So we met with them, asked our questions, and then that's when the subcommittee brought our findings to the Board of Ed, and it was supported unanimously, and we were allowed to move forward. One thing that we did that was different than Baltimore is we decided to buy core text for every student. 5 to 8, they suggested every student have a text in front of them, but we decided in K-4 that every student should also have a core text with them, so they didn't have to share the books with one another. And I think that's been part of our great success.
And you can click to see that Board of Ed presentation on the District Resources tab on the side of this presentation. So the implementation process from years 2021 to 2023. These are some of the steps that we took. I do have to also share that we had great support from our superintendent, who is our ultimate instructional leader in the district, who really encouraged this shift in our curriculum. So that was extremely important to have that and to set that tone for the district. We began to have professional learning with Great Minds. I started that with our administration and reading consultants in the spring and in the summer of that first year, so that they would have it prior to our teachers getting it when they returned to school in August, so that they could better support the teachers. It's important to note, we included all K-8 teachers, all special education teachers, speech therapists, our unified arts administrators, and paras received training. And our training was not a one-shot deal. It was ongoing throughout the year and was a multi-year plan of professional learning. One of the things that we did that was very imperative was we had monthly virtual meetings with our Wit and Wisdom implementation leader, with myself and the reading consultants, and or if the principals wanted to hop on, for them to get some support about how to coach the teachers with it, plan units, how to, carry out materials, how to, support team teaching in the district. It was really, that was very, very beneficial. And it was imperative that they had that form of support for the implementation to be successful. This year, we currently began to implement DIBELS in grades K-4 for literacy. We are also use NWEA in our district, and we're constantly providing updates about how our curriculum is going to the Board of Ed. And I did not mention this yet, but at that first year when we piloted Wit and Wisdom and Teachers College, we also did a pilot in math, and we did Eureka Math Squared. So it was quite the heavy lift for us to be taking during COVID, but we persevered, and our teachers and our students are better for it today. One really effective thing that we did was the Wit and Wisdom implementation leaders came to Shelton for 3 days, and we did instructional rounds with principals, the reading consultants, special ed personnel, central office, and our superintendent. And I do need to say our superintendent attended full days, all 3 days, was an active participant. Everybody that was there, was very engaged, and it was a very, very powerful professional learning opportunity for the leaders in the district, so that when we go into classrooms, we know what should we be looking for, what should it look like, what types of questions should we be asking kids, how else can we support teachers better, what other professional learning do we need to focus on, now that we were in that year one of implementation. And again, we had reading consultants and math specialists present at PTO meetings. We sent parent tip sheets home. Some reading consultants did newsletters about each unit and sent that home for parents so that they could support the kids at home. And if you see the icon at the bottom of the slide, you could go on the district resources tab on the side of this presentation to see that.
So our district in Wit and Wisdom has a big emphasis on inclusion and co-teaching. I have never co-taught prior to Wit and Wisdom, so that was definitely a big shift and an adjustment. You definitely need a very good relationship with the teacher that you're co-teaching with. As a general ed teacher, it was tough for me to kind of take a step back and allow someone else to teach my classroom. You do need to take the time to plan together so that you know who's teaching what. Amanda and I have been doing this for 2 years now, and I feel like we're in our groove, and honestly, it's very nice to co-teach. The students love it. In regards to inclusion, you would never know walking into my classroom who is a special education student, who's an EL. It just flows very well. And our data definitely shows that it's working, especially with the special education students. They have shown a lot of growth. I think exposing them to grade level texts definitely builds their confidence and helps them become confident in the general ed classroom, which is all we want. So.
And as a special education teacher in the district for about 12 years now, for most of my career, we were embracing the pullout model. So we were instructing students in the resource room, typically with other students with IEPs as well. So now with Wit and Wisdom, our students are in the classroom with their peers, learning side by side. We're reading grade level texts that they were never exposed to in our resource room. We really didn't realize how much we were holding them back, and seeing their success within the general education classroom is just wonderful.
And just from a reading consultant's point of view with the implementation process, it's very, very important for any district considering the curriculum to know that it's going to be a heavy lift, as Kristen mentioned, and setting aside time for planning for co-teaching, planning for coaching cycles, really getting the leadership team in the building into the classrooms and supporting the teachers is a huge part of it and really helped us to be successful. What our building did, we set aside weekly data team time. So we met with each grade level weekly, and the teachers were encouraged to bring questions about pacing, about the flow of certain lessons, anything at all that they had a question about. And we let them know that we were going to work through it together. And having that support has made it a huge success for us.
And if you click, you can click to access those links. You can click on the district resources tabs on the side of this presentation to see those links.
Okay, these are 2 examples of our programs of work. We've met with quite a few districts that were interested in the curriculum, and the main question that they always have is, how do you make this work in your day? So this is what our day looks like. You can see that both at the K-2 and at the 3-4 level, it is a full 90 minutes for the Wit and Wisdom block. People are always shocked to hear that that does not include, phonics time or anything else. It is a dedicated 90 minutes. And then in addition, we have small group time. We have time for Heggerty, phonemic awareness, and for our phonics time. And then we also have an additional block for AST time, which is that intervention block where we can provide services to tier 2 and tier 3 students.
The best part about Wit and Wisdom is that the students are exposed to strategies that they will use their entire time up through 8th grade. So you could walk into a grade 2 class and see Notice and Wondering, and then the students will be doing it all the time that it's natural.
And so grade 3, we do both Notice and Wonder and Socratic Seminar. I will say that these routines, by the time they're in third grade, they're like experts to these routines because they start in kindergarten. So my students know as soon as I take out a new book, they immediately set up their notice and wonder charts in their notebooks. This allows them to gain interest in the book, to ask questions, and it really sets the purpose for reading the book.
And these notice and wonders grow as the students get older, and they are allowed to use these notes that they take when they write their FQTs or their essays or their project-based assignments at the end of each module. Socratic seminars are by far my favorite part of the routine process, and I think the kids would agree with me. Socratic seminars are where the teacher has to pull back, which is very hard for them, and let the students discuss whatever that question is that they're talking about at that time with that text. That was a big shift for our teachers because they're used to leading the discussion. And now whenever there's a Socratic seminar, their students have time to prepare. They know what their question is, what they have to focus on, and they know how to agree with one another, disagree with one another, add on to one another. And this carries through all the grade levels. And now when they come to our school as their first transition, we can hit the road running, teaching the curriculum from day one, because they already know what the expectations are and how to do each and every strategy and routine that they learned in the K-4 buildings.
And these are 2 videos of actual classrooms in our district, a grade 2 Notice and Wondering video and a grade 7 Socratic seminar video. And next to this presentation at the district resources tabs, you can click on those links. Okay. So we have had some great successes. We have had increased student growth. We've seen our scores increase, not only for our general education population, but also for our subgroups. There's so many more opportunities for differentiation. And I would definitely say a huge success is all of our students are now able to have access to grade level content and text. Our students have never produced so much writing than they ever had. I remember the first year a teacher came to me and said, what I would have expected my student to write in January or February, they're doing in October. So, that tells you right there the level of rigor and the expectation, and the kids are able to rise to it when we, put it in front of them. We are also seeing transitions between grades and schools so much smoother. As I shared, we have 5 K-4 elementary schools. And prior to Wit and Wisdom with the homegrown units, you could walk in any school in any different grade and maybe see something different. Now that's not the case. You walk into kindergarten in one school in town and in kindergarten in another school in town, you're seeing the same lesson, the same content. So that continuity and assured experiences was definitely a big success in an area that we really were focused on. And when all those students feed into our 5-6 school, they're all coming now with the same assured experiences. The connections between Geodes, Foundations, and Haggerty are seamless and strong. We're finding the decodables to be very, very effective and, helping out with our small group instruction.
We're noticing at the 5-6 level that our intervention groups are actually growing smaller because of all the exposure they've had with the Foundations, the Geodes, and the Haggerty with the phonemic awareness. So everything is perfect in this package, and we're starting to see it at our upper elementary school.
So on this slide, you can see we have gotten some articles written about our success with Wit and Wisdom and the impact of the curriculum. And these links will be in the district resources tabs on the side of this presentation. So 2023-2024 school year and beyond, where do we go now? We are looking to recalibrate those guided observations and do vertical instructional rounds again with the leaders. We think that every couple of years, that's really imperative to let's take another look and see where we're at, identify other areas of professional learning that teachers and staff need, and to really get some more guidance with the Wit and Wisdom implementation people. We are also looking at having exemplars for grade levels for the end of module task and focus questions. We are a UBD district, so we have put all of our units in our modules into the templates for grades K through 8. We're just looking to finalize that. The law about play-based learning, we're adding that in different learning scenarios into our modules and lessons for teachers. If you notice on our programs of work that Kelly spoke about, we are calling that play-based learning Imagineering for kids. We are continually looking at pacing. That is definitely something that you will need to have your reading people focus on with grade levels to make sure that they are staying on task so that they can get the modules completed. As long as you complete the first 3 modules in every grade, you've hit every standard for the grade. So if we get to all 4 modules, that's great. I'm going to tell you the first year that did not happen. We got through the first 3. I'm also going to say the first year, some lessons take 2 days, and that's okay. That's okay because it does get better as time goes on with that pacing. We are looking to possibly do a crosswalk with the new social studies standards. And we are looking to continue our grade level and school-wide data teams, which all of our schools are meeting weekly and every 6 to 8 weeks for their intervention students. And also we've begun to embed more IABs into our pacing calendars, and we're looking to increase that. So considerations. It is a heavy lift, but the outcomes are amazing. You just need to breathe. Provide teachers the grace and space to try it. And I say the words try it because I think the first year, that's all I said to teachers. It was a big shift for our special education staff to expose students to grade level content when they couldn't read it. So we had to provide a lot of training and supports about how to accommodate and modify that for the students so they had access to it. And I would just say to special ed teachers, just try it. Do me a favor, just try it. And they would come back and say, oh my goodness, I cannot believe we provided that accommodation, and the way that my student performed in the Socratic seminar, I cannot believe, they were able to participate and, comprehend and the vocabulary that they're using. So, you just need to have, the teachers need to feel like, it's a non-threatening environment and they have the grace and space to try it. I do want to share, I know Amanda and Bree talked a bit about co-teaching. Prior to Wit and Wisdom, our district was cited by the state of Connecticut for not having enough time with disabled peers. We were pulling our students out way too much. We have completely turned that around in Shelton, and I am extremely, extremely proud of it. The shift in teaching philosophy and mindset is definitely something that it can take people time. It can take people time. The one thing I will say is, you can't fight the science. You can't fight the science of reading. So, expose people to it, and share with them, what the science is and what the research says. Again, as Cara said, the Socratic seminar, it's a big shift from teacher talk to student discourse, and the teacher's the facilitator, but it's worth it. We did have to give teachers time to take their classroom libraries from level to genre based, and also to really focus on small group time, and what does that small group time look like, as well as to not get rid of the book bins. Kids still have book bins. They might have a geode in there. They might have an art piece of artwork from the unit in there. They might have a book or two from the Wit and Wisdom unit. And then they have choice to go shopping and pick a book from the genre-based library as well. So kids still get that time to read. It's just not all on their reading, on their just right reading level. The supporting teachers with pacing, I don't think that's ever going to be something that we just take away. I think that our teachers need it and our reading consultants, are really supportive of that. And it just helps to keep everyone on the same page and the district on the same page. I would also urge you to follow the program components with fidelity the first year. It's very simple to go and look on Teachers Pay Teachers or, other sites and type in, Wit and Wisdom Module 1, and someone else's slide deck comes up, and you can, just take that and put it up on your board and teach to the slide deck. But in reality, you're teaching to a slide deck. You're not teaching to the actual Wit and Wisdom curriculum. You really, really, really need to stick to the program resources and materials in order to become an expert with the actual content. Use the protocols provided by Great Minds. Working backwards from the learning goals has been an extremely important area that we have focused on and found successful. And as I said, the modules, they vertically align throughout the grades. And most importantly, celebrate and recognize great teaching. Even one small, step ahead, it should be celebrated. And, I think that that's really, really, really important. And we've done a really great job with that here in Shelton. And lastly, I just want to share, this is the Shelton Way, Shelton Public Schools. It's our vision of a graduate. You can see we have 6 pillars that we identify with, and everything that we do in Shelton in our curriculum with our students is linked to the vision of a graduate. And so is obviously Wit and Wisdom. Our kids become creative thinking and problem solving from it. They're creative. They've learned to be flexible and adaptive. And they initiate the self-direction, they're collaborative, have empathy. That productive struggle just lends itself to all of those things right then and there. And that's only one component of Wit and Wisdom. So the Shelton team thanks you for letting us do this presentation. If you need to contact us, you may contact me, Kristen Santilli. I'm the Director of Curriculum Instruction and Data, pre-K through 12. My information is there. And also our instructional leader, Superintendent Ken Saranich, his information is there as well. So thank you.